everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And leading them out there, we get a look at their 6'3" quarterback.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
They'll roll him out right. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And he's brought down after a good gain. A nice gain of 21 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Throwing on first down. Day. Man open left side is Brown. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. 2 plays, 2 catches. You have a feeling they're going to look for him early and often, and that's to be expected. You got a player of his caliber, why not?
And I think it's also a message from them to the defense that you're not going to dictate to us what we're going to do with one of our better players, because so often you hear about defenses saying we're going to take away what you do best. In this case, they're going to move him around, find proper matchups, and make sure they continue to funnel the ball to him. Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this is starting.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing the 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it, they love it, because now everyone gets locked in. The confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well.
So 5 plays on this drive, Charles. All passes, all completions. And just like that, they're in the red zone.
And don't you think the playbook opens up a little bit more now? Because all they've done is throw the football. If you want to run it now, you may very well have them fooled.
That one good for 17 yards. And now they've got it first and goal. Defensively, they better figure something out. Opening drive, he already has 4 catches.
And if you have to figure out how to stop him defensively, that usually means you weaken your defense. That means that now the offense is doing the dictating, and they should have other things open up as well.
And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone. An incomplete pass on first down. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Walsh adds the extra point. Well, that's how they envisioned to get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. And they'll go with the ground attack here. Able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 17 carries, 73 yards.
And, partner, I thought it was a lot of fun for us to be able to sit in on their film session with the offensive line. We saw how they blocked it up last week to pretty good success, and we see what their game plan is for this week. They expect that defensive front to be someone they can move.
Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
There are a good number of coaches at any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver. And on that play, it was batted down.
Stafford down to throw. He completes it to Tate. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And a gain there of 11 yards. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you'd gotten to stop it? It would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that's going to lead to a third down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to have the first down yardage as he's down at about the 30-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's first and goal. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be second down.
Right, didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just started in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
He'll get it up the middle. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's fourth down.
Well, that was excellent coverage right there, and he definitely did the right thing, showing that discretion is definitely the better part of valor. Threw it away, preserved the opportunity to kick for a field goal.
And excellent coverage. And right now the human is controlling the defense, so good job, human. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle. Right? No big plays given up. No balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that part. I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
Now let's discuss Antonio Brown as he heads back out there now. The early returns for him, very good to start this season. Interesting to see if he can keep up that torrid pace.
Yeah, when you're talking about averaging 100 yards a game as a receiver, extrapolate that over 16 games, and you're having a monster season. So, yeah, you love what he's doing early, but I think it's got to go back to the offseason, doesn't it? It's got to go back to the roots, spending time with the guy who's going to throw the ball to him, spending time watching tape, spending time reading defenses, and, of course, getting himself ready to play.
Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments and doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
And he'll get this only up to about the 35. at the end of one. 7-3 the score. They are, however, facing a fourth down situation. And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on fourth down. They run for it with Breida. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on fourth.
If he indeed got it, he didn't get it by much. This is a great push up front, but I think the nose of the football does make it over the line to gain. And whoa, that was definitely cutting it close.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a 2 tight end set. It's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the 2 tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side of the line of scrimmage to balance things out. No matter what, though, when you see 2 tight ends on the field, your first thought is to think run. In this case, the offense was able to run successfully.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Drops it underneath to Thomas. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. And Thomas seems to be in some pain. He's still on the ground. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. This quarterback now hitting on 80% of his passes in the early going. 8 of 10. It's first down. Here's Breida. And it's a fumble. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and hope...
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Detroit. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions strike quickly here for 6 points. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Gostkowski now out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. He's fumbled already once, Charles. I'm not going to say that that was in his mind there, but I'm sure that during some of these plays he is mindful of it.
And once you fumble the ball,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. And this
under pressure again, and down he goes again. Ezekiel Ansah in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
I don't know why you would do that. It's almost guaranteed points the other way. I mean, I get it if it's a late-game situation, maybe even 4th and inches. But, boy, that's a huge risk to take.
Yeah, another set. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Anthony Barr coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Only 2 yards on the carry. That's going to set up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 to be exact. The Lions on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 15. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And it's caught inside the 5. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense.
And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Jermaine Kearse, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Lions add on to their lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route. Ordinarily, it's probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complimentary football?
And that's caught inside the 30. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. A big play there for Minnesota. 45 yards. On 1st and 10, Day dancing to his left. And some space here. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Back to throw. Day. Going to throw right side here. Complete. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. DeAnthony Thomas, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Vikings are able to make this a close game again. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him, and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. It oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And time to spotlight Golden Tate. Second quarter here. He has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think, though, he's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Throwing to start the drive. Day. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. Past the 20, and he is out of bounds just a yard or two shy of the 10. On first down, Day. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
6 yards there off the scramble, but it'll still leave him with a third down.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
The Vikings on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. Day, nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Lions have recovered. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
The Lions will use the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Back to throw, Stafford. And that is incomplete.
Well, we've seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is, because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. This is taken at the 15. Might have needed just one more block as it stands. 37-yard return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Throwing on first down. Day eluding the pressure right. And some room to roam now. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the first down at a 21-yard gain. On 1st and 10, Day forced out to his left. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. Able to power through. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Lions taking the lead to the break. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because when they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the backs sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. Now a play fake here on first down. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins has it. And he'll get it down here to the 43. A gain of 6 there on first.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Left side complete. Seferian-Jenkins. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. And he finds Seferian-Jenkins. A gain of 26 on the third down conversion.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there that sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Now Stafford. But he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
He fights him off. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up a fourth down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. Let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Back to throw. Day. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A very solid gain of 27. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
And there's a man they call AB, always a volume receiver. He gobbles up catches. Holds a number 2 and number 4 spots for most receptions in a season in NFL history. And in 2015, just 7 catches shy of setting the single-season mark for most receptions, currently held by Marvin Harrison, a Hall of Famer.
He had 136 catches that year on the heels of 129 the season before. To throw on second down. Day escaping the pressure right. And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. Malik McDowell able to get him for a loss of about 3.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. On 4th down, Day. And it's caught inside the 5. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Some collective exhales over there on the sideline. A big pickup through the air on 4th down to bring up 1st and goal.
Well, the feel that I get on this is that they felt like 3 was just not going to be enough after getting this deep into their territory.
He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. In for the score. And the Vikings have tied it. They can grab the lead with a PAT.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that in the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he'd taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal, and I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out-and-out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
Yeah, maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball.
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Unable to corral him, he fights through. Throw left side, complete to Ross. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. The Lions on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And they'll go ground game here to the tailback. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 on. And 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Breida. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it 3rd down at 6. Looking to throw. Day. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And he's got the 1st down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. Give them credit. They knew what they wanted to dial up on 4th. They executed it for 9 yards, and the offense stays out there. This quarterback now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the 2nd half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Steps away to his left. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Day. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. A critical error there in a tight game in the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter. Turning it over, now the doors.
The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. Anthony Barr in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Well contained there defensively. The screen gets only a yard, and it's 4th. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. Do you like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's going to air one out. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the 4th quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders. Hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone, and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
But now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to hold that one in.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Flush to his right. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain.
How many times have we seen this late in the 4th quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? space, and he takes off.
On first down, Day being chased out left. The left side completion to Jones. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 16 yards there, 2 straight plays of 16 yards and another first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Alex Okafor able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
That catch good for 5. It's third down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes and they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there is they were able to connect. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on third down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Back to throw. Day. And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. So an incomplete pass and over to go, and that leads to 2nd and goal. They come out here in the eye. Looking to throw. Day. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And a short return to the 6-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunky yardage picked up there.
And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And down he'll go at the 25.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, Stafford. Caught, Safarian Jenkins, right side. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the stats that matter on this play don't help a team very much unless, of course, you're playing defense.
If you're getting points per reception, you got a reception, but no yardage. Great job by the defense, though. They read through that one.
They read through it, gave up no yardage, and people got credit for tackles. Pretty good deal.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the 1st. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. Back to throw. Caught right side, Tate. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. A gain of 6 there on 1st. The Lions need to move. They're hustling to the line now. They'll look to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Back to throw. And to the tight end here, Safarian Jenkins. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. And looked like some movement there. Let's get the call.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. He'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. He was unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
And this is going to be incomplete. He has had a great game defensively. He's been east-west, north-south, everywhere.
Yeah, and I love how you described that, because to be a great defender, you have to be able to move up and back, sideline to sideline, and he's been fantastic. Reminds me of a young Charles Davis when he was playing Madden.
Absolutely. Oh, wow, I thought you were going on the field, but okay, I see you. Now they go for it on 4th, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again.
And he's across for the touchdown. In the final minute, that should just about seal it.
And that touchdown puts them up 7. But now's when the fun begins, partner, because if you go ahead and kick the extra point, it's still a one-possession game. Go for 2, you might put it out of reach.
Yeah, a little decision to be made. Extra point up and good by Walsh. And the lead is up to 8. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And with time a factor here late, he'll just take a knee, and they'll put it out to the 25. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. And before the second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game. He's back to throw. That escapes the sack. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Stafford now to throw. Now a desperation throw deep. And a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Calvin Pryor. And he'll get this back across the midfield, striping down to the 47-yard line.
Well, they needed the touchdown and the two-point conversion, but they're not going to get a shot at either. This is a great play here defensively, Brandon, and at a time that they sorely needed one. And that could be enough to help get them out of here with a victory.
This is Breida. And down inside the 40 to about the 38. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. They run again with Breida. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for Minnesota, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll have a tough one at home next week against the Green Bay Packers. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what?